Hello, my name is TJ Scott, and welcome back to TBM News Report. Thanks for tuning in. We have interesting stories in today's edition. These stories range from the weather to the new emojis and the Oakland warehouse fire. We will also cover some local news around New Jersey and here in Bronson Township. Now we will go to Ben with the weather.
Thanks, TJ. Now with the weekly forecast. On Sunday, it will be a high of 60 degrees with a low of 24 degrees. There is a definite chance of rain from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Make sure you bundle up because on Monday it will be partly cloudy with a high of 33 degrees and a low of 22 degrees, with wind gusts at 8 miles per hour. On Tuesday, it will be sunny with a high of 40 degrees and a low of 29 degrees, with a 10% chance of rain. Wednesday is mostly sunny with a high of 46 degrees and a low of 30 degrees, with a 10% chance of rain. Thursday will be rainy with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 36 degrees, with a 70% chance of precipitation in the mid to late afternoon. Friday will be rainy and snowy with a high of 43 degrees and a low of 28 degrees. On Saturday, Christmas Eve, we'll have a high of 47 degrees and a low of 37 degrees. There will be a small chance of precipitation in the late evening to midnight. Sunday, Christmas Day, will be partly cloudy with a high of 47 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. Now back to TJ at the station.
Thanks, Ben. Now we have Marcus Moore here with news on the late passing of NBA sideline reporter Craig Sager.
Thanks, TJ. On December 15th, the world lost an incredible man. Chris Sager, an NBA sideline reporter, died from cancer, which he has been fighting for a long time. Most people remember Chris Sager for his colorful wardrobe and his questions he asked. We will miss him dearly, and we, here at TBM News, send our best wishes to his family. Now to Ben.
Thanks, Marcus. Now, many of you might think you know what a snowflake looks like, but do you actually know for sure? A photographer from Moscow, Russia, named Alexei Kleotov, has photographed many close-ups of snowflakes. He captured these following pictures with his Canon PowerShot A650 IS camera. He's an inspiration for many because Alexei doesn't use fancy camera equipment. He makes do with what he has available for him. Here's a photo of his camera, which he uses to take pictures of snowflakes. Alexei Kleotov said that he was inspired to explore snowflake photography by two other Russian photographers. He started taking snowflake pictures in December of 2008 and has been taking them ever since. Now, we will show you some of the photos Alexei Kleotov has taken. Alexei Kleotov's pictures really show us that no two snowflakes are alike. Alexei Kleotov really helps us get into the Christmas spirit. Now back to TJ at the station with the tragic news about the Oakland warehouse fire.
Thanks, Ben. So on December 2nd, at around 11:20 p.m. Pacific time, a fire started in a warehouse. The name of the warehouse was Ghost Ship. When the flames ignited, the warehouse was hosting a concert promoted by the band 100% Silk. There's controversy because prior to the fire, about 2 years ago, a couple firefighters came into the warehouse to inspect it. The Oakland Fire Department denied the accusations. The investigation is still currently ongoing. The Ghost Ship was the deadliest building fire since the Station nightclub in 2003. Now we go to Marcus with sports news.
Thanks, TJ. Now, for some sports news. On Monday, the 12th, at a basketball game, a Missouri school turned their backs to the black players and held up Trump signs. When the black players from Central High were being introduced, the Missouri students were turning their backs and were being very disrespectful. The Missouri School District apologized for these unsportsmanship actions and stated that they would do whatever they could to make sure this never happens again. Here's a video of the white students turning their backs to the black players at Central High. Despite what happened, Central High went on to win the game 66-62. Now back to Ben with news about the new emojis that Apple released.
Thanks, Marcus. Apple has released over 100 new emojis. These emojis include food, smileys, flags, sports activities, professions, and everyone's new favorites, the shrug and facepalm emoji. These new emojis are available upon updating your iPhone or any other Apple device to iOS 10.2. Please be aware that there are some problems with the iOS 10.2 because it's still in beta form. Before updating your Apple device to iOS 10.2, you should back it up so you won't lose any of your data. Now back to TJ at the station with more news about the 2016 presidential election.
Thanks, Ben. Recently, Donald Trump said that the alleged Russian hackings were a conspiracy theory. But a cybersecurity expert said that Donald Trump is wrong for saying these comments. WikiLeaks also wants President Barack Obama to submit proof of the Russian hackings so that they can verify their findings. This could be a really huge event in history because if the United States can find sufficient evidence on if Russia influenced the result of the election, anything is possible from that standpoint. This also brings up the argument of getting rid of the Electoral College. People are saying that someone's vote here in the state of New Jersey is not worth as much as one in the state of Pennsylvania. What do you think? Share your thoughts after this newscast with our expert, Mr. Lee, and he will respond. Now to Marcus with the local news.
Thanks, TJ. In Willingboro, a 17-year-old has been charged for holding up pizza delivery drivers. A victim told investigators that two suspects approached him and one showed a gun before robbing him of the food he was delivering, plus cash, his wallet, and his cell phone. The team was charged with 3 counts of robbery theft, unlawful possession of a weapon, and possession for an unlawful purpose, as well as 2 counts, each of burglary and criminal mischief. Now back to TJ.
Thanks, Marcus. Now for some additional sports news. There has been a lot going on in the sports world, and this is why I am here to deliver it to you all. On Sunday, Manchester City had an important match against Arsenal FC. The match was action-packed, and as a result of the match, Manchester City took all the 3 points from the match. Man City were missing 3 of their best players, Fernandinho and Sergio Aguero, due to suspension, and Ilkay Gundogan due to a knee injury suffered in the last match against Watford FC when he collided with Watford forward Amrabat. The Seattle Sounders beat Toronto FC in MLS Cup. The game's highlight was the save by the Sounders goalkeeper, Stephen Fry. American and Toronto FC forward Josie Altidore headed the ball toward the goal and Fry was going in the opposite direction. Fry then jumped off his right leg and saved what would have been the go-ahead and possibly the game-winning goal. Now to the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers fell to the Los Angeles Lakers 100-89. The Lakers' Julius Randle led the game with 25 points, while for the Sixers, Joel Embiid led the team with 15 points and 2 blocks. Now to the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Baltimore Ravens 26-27. It literally came down to the Eagles' decision to go for 2 after Carson Wentz scored a rushing touchdown to make the Eagles go behind just 1 point. On the 2-point try, Carson Wentz tried to throw the ball to Jordan Matthews, who was doing a slant route. The pass was tipped and never reached Matthews. The New York Giants beat the Detroit Lions 17-6. The Dallas Cowboys game was too late for this edition. the Washington Redskins play the Carolina Panthers today at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Now here's Marcus with the last story of the day.
Thanks, TJ. Now, before we go, we have one last story to talk about. If you haven't noticed yet, there's an African American on Google's homepage. Many of you may not know who he is. This man is Steve Biko. Steve Biko was an activist in South Africa in the 1960s and 1970s until he was killed by a police officer while he was in police custody. Steve Biko was a martyr for the civil rights movement. He was arrested for subversion and was brutally beaten, then thrown into a cell. On September 12th, he died naked and shackled to a dirty floor of a police hospital. We remember the sacrifice made by Steve Biko today on December 18th, 2016, his 70th birthday. To commemorate the grave sacrifice made by him, here are some quotes stated by Steve Biko.
Thanks, Marcus. Now, we have some bad news because this will be our last newscast as a channel. We have been through so much as a channel, changing personnel, transportation problems, and phones not having enough space. So give us some credit. But as a result of this, Ben, Marcus, and myself would like to wish everyone a happy holidays, and for those who celebrate the holiday, Merry Christmas.